And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Factorio. Alright, the DeathWorld. So I was looking at the electronics, trying to gear up for these whiteboards because they are required for the blue circuit, or the blue science packs. So we've got the silicon wafers covered, we've got the plastic covered. We've definitely got the wood and resin covered. The last item on the agenda for these whiteboards is the circuit board, which requires ferric chloride solution. Yes, yet another ingredient that we have not necessarily planned for. So we have iron ore right here that we can route, and this is kind of a nice big area. So the ferric chloride requires the iron ore. That's kind of where the ferric comes in. But it also requires the hydrogen chloride, which, as we know, is the saltwater electrolysis and, just some other goodies with that. So for this process, I am thinking we want to start with 2 of these. So we're going to need some chemical plants. We're going to need a couple for electrolysis. So let's kind of build this out right here. So this is going to be the final product, ferric chloride solution. And that is another chemical plant. See, how did I do it up here? I split it, but I'm not going to split it this time. They're going to be dedicated to each one. So I want one of each, which is going to look like that. And then the 2 electrolysis, which is going to be saltwater electrolysis. And I need 2 of these chemical furnaces. And these are going to need something burnable, flammable. I wish I had the electric versions of these. That would be very nice. Very, very nice to have right now. And I need 2 of the water pumps. And I don't have space for that, so I'm going to swap that around and build it over here. Sort of like that. Actually, what's the crafting time on that? 0.5. And this is 1. I mean, if I put these side by side, I could probably do it, combine them, but for now, I'm not gonna worry about that. So these actually need, those are gonna need fuel. Saltwater electrolysis will produce the hydrogen chloride. Again, we're not gonna worry about it. So I'm going to avoid it like that. And this is good. And that needs iron. So the ferric chloride will come out. Let's put it on the outsides so I can walk through. Like walk through the middle here. And then we're going to want a tank to store it. I'm going to want to have it come up right through there. So let's see. There's no real easy way of doing this. So I'll put it there. That way I can walk around and not bump into things. All right, so the iron ore we're going to want right through here. We need something flammable right in here. I could just use coal for now. Coal is in pretty good supply. Not amazing, but also got a whole bunch of wood on me because I went up and chopped all the forest that was up here. Took me a while. Had kind of an evil thought of recording my massive chopping session and then posting it for the April Fool's Day sort of trend that happens, but I decided against it. Not subject everybody to that kind of nonsense. Okay, well, if this is going to be... I want to make sure I leave some room just in case I want to expand that process. And I want to bring it up right here. And this is where I want to come over. Just like that. And then bring the iron ore up. All I need left is to load it in. Just like so, and then power. I can probably put a little one over here and get away with that. That should be fine, and power it up. Oh, I need to make these water and salt. There we go. Okay. The only bad part about this process is the electrolyzer has a slower crafting speed than the chemical plant. So it really throws the math off until you can sort it out. But we are getting ferric chloride, which is what we want. So without further ado, let's see. I'm looking to put it right where this belt right here. So have a line to bus the ferric chloride solution. And I want to use lots of underground pipe. So where does that connects right there. I kind of want to make sure I'm not running over too much. Okay, and let's make sure I'm in the right spot here. Yeah, I knew I couldn't quite reach that, so. And then in dot 13, it looks like we're going to be able to just place these while we run, which will be really nice. Really nice. So these should all be ferric chloride eventually when I get some regular pipe going. How much do we have built up? Only 342. All right. So ferric chloride is on the way. It's not a really heavy use. You know, the circuit boards only use 0.5, so we're producing right now, we're producing 10 every 2.5 seconds roughly. So we've got quite a bit of capacity for our circuit production. So this might take a little bit here. Looking at the ingredients for this, the circuit board, I mean, it's 4 ingredients, 2 of which are pretty hefty in how many they use. So pulling them off a belt might not be the best way to go about it. I was looking at it here, and I would love to use these electronic assembling machines just because they craft faster than the regular assembly machines. It would be nice. I've used them extensively down here. The problem is the number of ingredients is pretty high. Grab some iron. I've got plenty of copper, got plenty of steel, tin, got some plastic on me even. So if I were to go up here, what would it look like if I were to have a bunch of these assembly machines? So let's just say the white circuit boards are right here. Okay, so if these are, I can't actually make them in this thing. That is unfortunate. Too many ingredients, I bet. Well, it doesn't make any sense. Only 4 ingredients compared to... Yeah, it's just a limiting... It's a limit. So I have to use these for the actual boards themselves. So if I do that, electronic circuit board. So this needs electronic components and transistors. If I did something like this with electronic components and transistors. Okay, transistors, I have this set up down here. That's tinned wire and copper wire, and then carbon. These are silicon wafers and plastic and tinned wire. So tinned wire goes into both of these. So I could, what is my tinned wire? 3.5 second. I could do tinned wire like this. And see, this needs to be silicon wafers, and I need 2 every, yeah, that is going to be tricky because this needs to be carbon. I'm kind of thinking out loud. I've never designed a system like this before for these specific ones anyway, and I need a circuit board as well, which also requires a big... So if I did a circuit board, this needs a phenolic board. Right there, this can be a phenolic board. A phenolic board is, looks like these don't produce what I need them to. So these might have to be wood and resin. And each one of these needs wood. And I can support 2 circuit boards on one of these. However, that kind of complicates matters. Again, these need silicon wafers, which is 2 every 3.5 seconds. And I can produce 8, I think, every 5 seconds. Yep. So I just need 1. This can be copper wire. And let's see, I need carbon and basically plastic left. Let's see. If I did this and made it silicon wafers like that, this doesn't really need anything except carbon, which I can bring up underneath. So I can have like, so this needs plastic, right? So plastic I can bring in right here. Carbon I can bring in like right here. And I can scoop it in from the underground belt. So this can be, that can be for the tiling system there. So that looks pretty good. The only issue is the circuit boards. Which, come to think of it, I can basically design a system because it produces them. Yeah, it's every 5 seconds. So I'm going to need, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. If I want 5 of these, I'm going to need 5 of these. And that ratio is a little out of whack. Copper. So this actually needs tin. So I can do tin like that. And I can do silicon like that. Carbon, plastic. Then I need solder. Solder. Again, I might be able to get away with doing it like that. And then tile this going up, which I have plenty of room for. The only issue is I need boards to come down, and I need output to come down and wrap down into here. This is where the white boards will be. So I'm going to have the basic boards here, the basic blue boards here, and then the white boards down below that, because I need them down there because of science. So let me get this system here going, and we'll pick it up next episode to kick it off. So I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.